Hey right guys, Trade Much is Joe here, and today we are going to be ranking 18 characters from Euphoria Season 2. I finished the second. We all finished the second season yesterday, so that's still fresh on our minds. And I didn't talk too much about the characters in that video, just because I knew I was going to be doing a character tier list anyway. So we've got 18 characters here. There are a few others I could have added as well, but I felt like these were like the main 18 that we dealt with in Season 2. We've got like Euphoria. Euphoria just felt like the correct word to put right at the top there. Putting like best of the best didn't quite cut it for this season, so I thought Euphoria. And then you amazing, solid, okay I guess, and then trash, go away at the bottom of course. So also just to like I base this on how likability, so how much I like the character, and then how much I felt like they brought to the table when it came to season 2. So as an example, Nate, likability down there. No one likes Nate. No one likes Nate. But in terms of what he brought to the table as a character and how interesting of a character I find him, I'd say he's probably up in solid. So okay, I guess is what Nate would be. So do keep that in mind. If Nate likability will be there, but you can't deny that he brings a lot to the table when it comes to being a character in Euphoria. So might as well get Nate out of the way then. We'll put him there soon as I've already based that on him. So that's where Nate would be. He's so far down because he's just an awful person, but he's a good character to have in the show, that's for sure. So yeah, that's how I will be judging this list. But yeah, let me know down below your kind of top 3 characters, who they might be. I've not really thought too much about this, so I'll be going straight off the cuff. And I think I know who my favourite character is. But other than that, I'm not really sure where other characters would rank. So we're going to see. I'm going to find out for myself who my top 3 characters are, because I've really not given it much thought other than I know who my favourite is. So yeah, Ali, not in as much as he was in Season 1. We did have an episode in the special. Oh yeah, also keep in mind, I'm basing this on Season 2. Season 2 alone, not Season 1. I'm not taking Season 1 into account. We did a character tier list for Season 1. If you want to go check that out, that is up on the channel. But I'm going solely off what their characters did in Season 2. So keep that in mind for characters like Cassie. Characters like Cassie, we're going off Season 2. But yeah, Ali was not in the show as much as he was in Season 1, unfortunately, because I felt like he does bring a lot when he is on camera, and when he's in scenes with Rue. I feel like they're some of the best scenes that the show has done, is his scenes with Rue. But we did get an entire hour of just Rue and Ali in the special, obviously. So I'm gonna keep him. I think I pretty much put him there anyway. No, I think he was in amazing in Season 1, but I'm gonna put him in solid in. I don't know, because the scenes he was. Okay, yeah, I'm putting him in amazing because he wasn't in it much, but the scenes he did have were incredible, and he helped get Rue to where she is now in such a huge way that he probably didn't even realise. So I'm putting Ali there because Rue's journey this season, I feel like he was a big part of it, even though he wasn't. He only had what, like maybe 3 big scenes in the season. So, but I love him anyway. He's great. Cat, bro. Season 1, I loved this character. She was one of my favourites. Not my. I don't think she was like top of the top, like top 3, but she was so good. And this entire season, I was just waiting and waiting for her to like have just a line of dialogue, like a whisper of dialogue, and there was nothing. There was nothing. She popped in here and there, did bimbled about, didn't really do anything. So I would have said like if that was it, it would have been like solid, because she like didn't really do much to damage her character. But there was one scene, and it's this scene that I've used the image from, where she broke up with Ethan. Just crap. And this is why, and I feel like this is why people are going to be like, wait, what have you done here? Because I'm going to put Kat down here in trash. Yes, below Nate, I've noticed this, but I felt like she brought nothing to the table. Her scenes were not interesting, and she was super unlikable, like really unlikable, based on what that scene she had with Ethan. What he has done is way worse, but at least his scenes were interesting and they were fun to watch. Hers were not. Like, she didn't do anything this entire season, so she's in trash for now. I feel like she's a character that could go back up, but if we're basing it, like I said, on Season 2, Kat was just No. And I really liked her in season 1, and if you saw the reactions, you know how much I wanted her to do something this season. So it's a shame she didn't. I've got to put my bias aside on how she was in season 1, and just she's got to go in trash. Ethan, you're probably wondering what this image actually even was. This was Ethan in his prime, doing Lexi's play. What a king! He's going up in amazing. He technically he didn't do much this entire season, but that one episode, episode 7, was enough for me to just be like, the entire season I was like, Ethan's boring, he's not doing anything this entire show, and then he came out with this. He got dumped by Kat the episode before, and he came out flying colours, and it's what he deserves. I mean, everyone loves him now, because this whole scene just won me over with his character. He was amazing. Susie, I think her name is, Cassie's and Lexi's mum. It's got to be amazing as well. She was so... Put her just above Ethan, I think. She was so funny. She may be like one of the funniest characters this entire season. Like the fact Ethan was playing her and she was like drunk the entire time and she was just loving it. She was like, that's me, like proper getting into the play and proper hyping Lexi up as well, and just being done with Cassie's shit the entire episode, or the entire season really, I guess. I really like her. Hopefully we get more of her in season 3, which will be in 2 years. So I mean, we're gonna have to wait a while to see if that is the case, but hopefully they keep coming back, because she's a really, really likeable character and way better than she was in season 1. So she's up there. Great. Again, very few scenes, but the scenes she was in, and she didn't really start having scenes until like episode 5, I think, but I loved it. Elliott. I feel like Elliott is a character everyone wanted to like, but no one really cared about. I think the show really wanted you to love Elliott. And so I saw a tweet, I think last night, and it was like, the fact Elliott's trying to sing this romantic song, which went on for like 40 minutes, by the way, to Rue, but he slept with Rue's girlfriend like 2 episodes prior. He's just a mess. He's a mess of a character. A lot of the characters were a mess this season, but Elliott, I just felt like they didn't really know what they were doing with him. Like, what? Okay, yeah, I felt like he was at his best when in the earlier part of the season, when he was kind of just doing drugs with Rue, and we were getting to learn about his character, and he felt like he was a bit more mysterious. And then they gave us too much of him, and then he kind of just became a bit. He just was boring. He was boring, which I felt like they really weren't going for that with his character. I mean, you shouldn't be going for that with any character to make them boring, but he was, and I'm actually going to put him below Nate, because again, Nate wasn't boring. At least he's a better person than Nate is, but he's still not even that great of a person anyway. So yeah, I'm going to put him in okay, I guess. He's not an awful specimen of a thing. He did have good scenes in there, but that song, bro, oh my god, it went on for so long. I was literally there like the reaction, I think it's probably edited down to 5 seconds of that song, but there was 2 minutes and 55 seconds of me just there like that, like waiting for it to end. The first minute I was fine with. You could sing for a minute, I'm cool with that. They had some good glances there, but it kept going and going and going. It just would not stop. So yeah, Elliott, you down there, mate. Cal, unlikable person, but his story this season I felt was really, really good. His whole flashback episode I thought was decent. His scene where he just went in on his family and just came out to his family. He's like, yo, this is me. I'm pissing on the floor. My knob's out the entire 10 minutes. I'm going to go on this speech. But, you know, I kind of like Cal. I don't like him as a character, as a person, but as a character, I do like his character. So I'm going to put him probably just above Nate, because he had some great scenes. That whole, I think it was episode 6, was it? Or it might have been episode 4. It might have been episode 4, where he just laid it all out to his family. I was like, yeah, Fairs. Fairs. And his Nate's brother was just in shock. He was in awe the entire time. So, yeah, he's likability he's down here, but character-wise, he's going up there. So, Leslie, is that her name? I think I saw that when I searched up her name. I think that's Gia, but I'm not 100% sure. I think it's Rue's mum, but I think her name's Leslie. I'm going to put her in solid. Likability wise, she's up here. What she's had to put up with, bro. She's had to put up with some shit with Rue, that's for sure. But I just don't, she's a decent character for me. I think every scene she's in season 2 is just dealing with Rue's shit, and the fact she's able to put up with that, I mean, fair play. But I just, I don't think she's as interesting as some of the other characters are, but likability-wise, she's up there for sure. Fair play to her. I like the scene as well where she's just kind of like, it was brutal, but it's like I kind of get it when she was like, I'm putting all my focus and attention on Gia now. You do your thing. You're going to move it out soon anyway. All my attention's on Gia. I was like, you know what? That's fair. It was harsh, but fair. Gia, I'd probably put in the same, but probably just above Leslie. I think she's got a bit more. All of her scenes of this season were just crying. Just having a moment to just be like, oh yeah, Rue's ruining my life at home. That was her storyline, but she acted. She's playing, again, I've said it before, but she's playing what's her name? The character from The Last of Us. Why am I blanking on it? Shit, I do know it because I've played that DLC, but she's playing her, which is really good as well because she's a great actress. So excited to see what she can do in The Last of Us, and she's really good this season as well. Martha. What happened? I didn't really bring this up in the reaction because I didn't really think about it till after I'd finished recording. But yo, Rue owes her like 10 grand, and that's just like what, done now? Like people pointed out they felt like the last scene where Rue was walking out, she's all happy, like it would end where like Martha or someone who's working for Martha would be walking behind Rue, and it just cut to black. That would have been so cool. That would have been kind of eerie, because that's just like a plot point that's what left in the wind, like a fart. I don't really know what happened. She told Rue, you owe me a shit ton of money at 5, that was the last we saw of it, and then she just disappeared. That was it. Rue's happy and like, off drugs, which is great, but that won't be the last we see of it. But I also felt like we should have had a scene to just remind us, like, oh, the writers haven't forgotten about this, don't worry. But it did feel like the writers genuinely forgot that Rue owes her a shit ton of money, or her pills back, which she can't do because they're all flushed down the toilet. So she was kind of spooky. I'd say she's okay. Like a bit, she's there, I guess. She's not trash, because when she's on screen, it's like, she can do anything. But I don't think she only had like 2 scenes. She's just kind of like dead. I know that's the point in a character, but it's just like, okay, cool, what's going on here? So I feel like she could have potential to go up as an interesting villain of the show, but we didn't have quite enough of her this season to judge that off. And especially because they didn't really give us a resolution to that as well. Jules, oh god, what a mess. What a mess they made of Jules. This is the character, apart from Kat, I feel like Jules is the one that they just pissed about with the most, because season 1 I wasn't the biggest fan of her anyway. I felt like she was good, but then I felt like her and Rue were bad for each other, but I felt like that was the point. So, it was fine. And then her solo episode in the specials was really good. And then we get season 2 and she just didn't do anything. What did Jules do? I said in the reaction, like, what have you done? We've had 8 hours of content. 8 hours. And this is what I felt like Jules did. Got with Rue, went down on Rue, cheated on Rue, and then had an intervention for Rue. That was Jules. That was Jules this entire season. It was crap. She was way better in season 1. So likability-wise, I'd say she's solid. She kind of annoys me a lot of the time, but she's not like Nate level of awful. But then, in terms of bringing something to the table, as I mentioned at the start, so do keep that in mind when I rank these characters, please, because I know I'm going to get comments like, you put Jules below Nate, but no, I can't. Can I do that? I'm basing it on season 2, though. I can't be biased with season 1. If I was bringing season 1 into account, she'd be there. I can't bring season 1 into account, so shit. That just looks wrong. It doesn't look right. Putting her below Nate. But she was boring. She didn't do it. She's better than Elliott, at least, but at least these two did stuff. Oh god, Jules. Please see where I'm coming from with that. I know that looks bad, but she was just boring. And I like, those scenes where I was like, come on, Jules, do something now. And then we just got to the end of the season and it wasn't. Yeah, I'm sorry. Jules is down there. I know that's going to piss people off, but I'm sorry. Please hear where I'm coming from. Maddie, all the way up there. So, so good this season. I just felt bad for her. I just felt awful. Like, she's got some therapy sessions to probably go to, I'm going to say, because her best friend slept with a boy. Okay, yeah, they weren't together, as Cassie kept saying, whatever, but that, and then she had a gun held to her head from Nate, and she still seemingly seems like she's gonna, I don't know if forgive Cassie is the right word, but it seems like her and Cassie might be okay based on the last scene we saw them all in. She was like, it's only going to get worse from here in terms of Cassie's mental state, in terms of Nate, because she's been through it. So, I mean, we'll see. Again, we're going to have to wait 2 years to really see if her and Cassie are going to be okay, but Maddie was a badass this season. I like that she was done with Cassie's shit for the last 3 episodes and how much she was into the play. What happened? I didn't really get again, saw another tweet, someone pointing out there was a camera in the room of the rich people's house of her trying on clothes, and it was pointless. Why make a point of it? It was what I didn't get it. Like, you focused on a camera, like she was being watched the entire time, and it was just nothing. It was just a load of nothing. I don't blame Maddie's character for that, but that's just the writing of like what I don't really get the point of that. But Maddie, really, really like her character. She's pretty much as good as she was in season 1, I'd say. So Cassie, mess. Likeability wise, crap. Story wise, though, it was 50-50 with Cassie. I felt like it was starting to really drag out the whole Cassie and Nate sleeping together. It was like half the season, but then Rue exposed it in Ep 5, so I felt like they got that out at the exact right. If that went on for another episode, it would have been way too long. But I think they kind of got that out exactly when it needed to be. So Cassie, she's a tricky one because she's not like super unlikable, and again, Sydney Sweeney was great. I guess you could say that about all the actors, though. Everyone here on the board is great at their job, so I don't know. She did more than Jules, that's for sure. She's more likable than Nate. She's more likable than Cal, so I guess that, because her and Nate's story were pretty much the same thing. And I can't put her in solid. I can't put her up there with Gia and Leslie. I think, I don't know. So yeah, sorry Cassie. She was way high up in season 1, but she's just annoying this season. She was annoying. Shut up about Nate, bro. Please. Should that better be season 3? Give Cassie something else, please. God. Lexi. We'll save them. Let's do Faye. I don't want to end on Faye. I felt like she was fine the entire season, and then the last episode she came through, and because in my head I was like, oh, she's kind of warned them, but is it too late? Because I mean, again, full spoilers for season 2 as you should expect, but I bet there's warning. Ash still died, so in my head I was like, it was pointless. But then I'm like, she might have saved Fez from exposing himself, because he could have said something if he didn't know that they were being recorded. So her being like, it was more so being like, don't say anything. But she didn't save the situation. Ash still died, but Fez might not have to go to prison for life now because he didn't say anything when they were being recorded by the phone. So she still came through in some way. She could have said something way earlier. I get that argument, but I guess she was just panicking on what to do. I don't know. I'd say she was solid. Probably there. I felt like if she did more throughout the season, she would have been amazing. Because she was here. She would have been here. But because of the last episode, her likability went up for me. So I'm going to put her there. She was pretty cool. Hopefully we get more of her in season 3. Let's do Ash. Ash, my boy, rip. I can't believe they killed him off still. Again, like I said, it was going to be him or Fez. So I'm going to put him in. It's got to be amazing, hasn't it? Above Ali, above Ethan, yeah. But I'm putting at the top of amazing. All of his scenes, like he just came in, he bashed Cal's brains in, like here. This is because of Ash that he looks like this. He killed 2 people. There's one guy that got clubbed with a hammer at the start, and then he killed the guy at the end with the knife. There might have been a 3rd person in there as well. But yeah, he just he went off. He was like the most unpredictable out of all of them. Even though maybe he wasn't. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe the most predictable thing about him was he was just going to kill everyone. If you weren't Fez, you could probably die. I wish we had more of his character. I wish we could have seen more of his bromance with Fez throughout season 3, but we're not going to get that, of course. Unless, well, we didn't see him die. Yeah, like we need to see Ash's brains be blown up all over the bathroom. No one needs to see that, so... but I did see an actual tweet. That's what I referenced. That someone said, "Well, we never actually saw Ash get shot." It's like, bro, you saw Fez's reaction. That's all you need to see. If he got shot, I'm not going to go into it. But yeah, really, really like Ash's character. It sucks, but in a way, I'd rather him than Fez because, like I said, it was one of them. Let's do Lexi. She's just so good. So good this season. Likeability-wise, she's up here, and story-wise, she just put on that entire play. We're not going to talk about the production of that play and how much it would have cost. They literally built a house for that production, but we're not going to go into that. And a gas station they built. I can't even imagine how much that would have cost. But anyway, yeah, likability-wise, her romance with Fez. I mean, I don't know if that's going to be at the top of Fez's priority list right now, but that was all wholesome. I like that her and Rue kind of went on this, they seem to be back together in terms of being best of friends, which is what we want. Like season 3, we just need Rue and Lexi hanging out. That's all we need. Maybe a bit more of storylines as well, but I'd be happy with that. I think it's good that those two have found their way back to each other as well, because Rue being on drugs is like kind of they were distant apart for however many years, and now they're back best of friends. So yeah, her journey as well, like I think it's very easy to put her up there because her likability is so up there, but in terms of story, I feel like she had some of the best scenes throughout the entire season, so she's up there for me. Rue there above Lexi. Likability, she can, she has moments where she's down there for sure, but that's when she's just off her head, and that's just realistic, unfortunately. It's just realism of how you can be when you are into heavy drugs. So yeah, Rue can be up and down with the likability, but where she ended up in the last 2 episodes, I'm happy with where she's at. I hope she kind of stays. It was like a proud moment. You feel proud when she's just living her best life at the play, and yeah, being happy the entire time. So hopefully she can stay like that, but we shall see. I think it just depends how many seasons they plan to do with Euphoria. Like, if they plan to do 8 seasons, she's probably going to... Which I hope they don't, by the way. I think Euphoria is one of those that... 5 seasons max? Maximum. 4-5 seasons will be perfect. This does not need to be a show that goes on for 8 seasons. But anyway, yeah, Rue, loved. And Zendaya, she's getting that Emmy. She's getting that Emmy. Don't even care. If she doesn't, I'll be surprised. I'll be very curious who does get it instead, because she was insanely good this season. Better than season 1? Don't know. Probably just as good. Maybe better. Because I'm thinking of the door scene from season 1 when she's banging on Fez's door. I'd say better though, because she had longer sequences this season. I don't know. And Fez is the one where I was like, yeah, I know he's my number 1. He's my number 1. Likability, up there. Story-wise, up there. Every scene he's in, he's got you. Like, you're in it. His romance with Lexi was wonderful. I felt like that added so much more to his character than just being the mysterious drug dealer. I wish we kind of got more of him and Rue this season, because I felt like they had more in season 1, but it's not too big of a complaint. And I kind of get why, because story-wise, why would it make sense for Rue to be going to Fez? The only time she went to him really was when she tried to come up with her entrepreneur deal, but she went to Marta over here for it instead. Oh, and then when he kicked her out when she was trying to get drugs off him as well. So they did have a couple of scenes in there for sure, but it would have been nice to have a bit more. But yeah, I just love him. Fez is just great. He's such a good character, and I'm curious what they're going to do with him in season 3 in terms of getting him out of the situation he's in. I think Faye being a witness could really help, but then I'm like, because I brought up in one of the comments for YouTube that, one, he had a load of drugs, And isn't that what he's being arrested for? Not being arrested for, because I know it's to do with that murder that happened anyway, but that as well, even though he didn't actually incriminate himself with that, so thanks to Faye. So there is that. But then someone pointed out that he never actually keeps drugs at the place now, at his house now, since he got raided. So we don't need to worry about the drug side of things. But then he had a load of guns in his house, like an arsenal. Like he had machine guns and pistols and stuff. Like he had a whole arsenal for Ash to go in with. But then someone pointed out it's America, so maybe that could like it'd get him a bit of time, but I don't know if it'd be that much time. So I was like, okay, fair enough, I guess. But then one of those guns got a cop killed, and it wasn't him that did it, but so that could be a thing. And then the other thing was he had the knife in his hand, and he dropped it and stuff, and they could say that Ash was the one who killed the guy. Now that Ash is dead, so someone said that he's not there to face the consequences really, so you might as well pin it on Ash, as brutal as it sounds, which makes sense. But then he had the knife in his hand, so that would be part of it. No, I don't know. Either way, it's stress, because they can't just have Fez in prison for all of season 3. But then how realistic are you trying to be? Because if you're trying to be really realistic, he ain't coming out of prison for season 3 unless they do a time skip. So, but then again, they can't do a time skip because you didn't wrap up this storyline with Martha, her owing Martha money. So oh god, 2 years, guys, 2 years. How many days? I don't know. Like, oh, why have we got waste long, bro? I want to know now. If it was like a year, I felt like I could deal with that. But when you hear 2 years, 2024, you're just like, oh my god, we're not going to know anything about what happens to him. Lexi doesn't even know that he's in prison. Why does she owe her so much money? Why was Jules so poorly written this season? Is Ash alive? No, he's not, but that's fine. It's not fine, but but yeah, there we go, guys. That is my character ranking for season 2 of Euphoria. Again, likability and how much they brought to the table taken in mind, and not including season 1. That is where we're at. Fez, Rue, Lexi, Maddie at the top. I'm happy with those 4 at the top. I love those 4 characters. Ash would have been up there if he just had a few more scenes, I think. But I really liked Ash's character. Susie was hilarious all the way through. Ethan is up there solely based on 1 episode, which is his play. He was so good in that. And Ali, I wish we got more of him this season, but the scenes he was in, I think, was perfect. Then we got Gia, but Leslie, I think they said that on Wikipedia, so I'm going off that. Faye, they were really good characters. I think if they had, a bit more, they could have been higher up, like Faye. She just had a few more scenes, and yeah, I don't know. They're good characters. And then down here, this looks muddled and bad. I get it, because like we've got Elliott and Jules literally below Nate, but as I've explained 3 times now, these 2 characters just did way more interesting. They had way more interesting scenes than Jules and Elliott did this season. Like, you can't deny that. Name 1 interesting scene Jules had this season. I'm genuinely trying to think. 1 really good scene she had. It sucks, because she's such a good actress and she's such an interesting character, and you did nothing with her this season. You did nothing. And Kat, they just ruined. Likeability, you're down here, and you did nothing this season, so you're in the trash. He's the only character in the trash, though, so that's... Oh, God, what a mess. This season, it was good. I see a lot of people saying this was like the worst thing they've seen ever. I'm like, you deluded. And some people comparing it to being on the level of Riverdale now. I don't think this was anywhere near as strong as season 1. I agree with that. And I do think it was very messy at times. I do think there are plot points that were just left unanswered. But I still think it was a very good season. I really hope season 3 is better than this. If season 3 is on the level of this, I will be disappointed. And I won't say I was disappointed by this season. I think I was in certain aspects of it for sure. But I don't think it was the worst thing ever put to screen, or as bad as Riverdale, or now the show has really fallen off or anything like that. I just think it wasn't on the level of season 1. But I think because season 1 was so well written and so good at every single episode, that this was always, not always I guess, but was it inevitable that it was never going to live up to season 1? Probably. It's hard to top that, because you think of just the last scene of season 1 alone was so so good. I've rewatched that scene like 20,000 times since I watched that, but maybe not 20,000, maybe like 19,000 times is probably a more realistic statement. But yeah, I still really enjoyed the season. I think I didn't rate the season as a whole, but I'd probably give it like a 7.9 out of 10, I think, just below an 8. And then I gave season 1 a 9.5, I think, or like a 9.4. So yeah, nowhere near as good as 1, but still really, really good. And I'll be there for season 3. You know you'll all be there for season 3 as well, don't even lie. But yeah, let me know your top characters who you consider the best of season 2. And thanks for watching the Euphoria reactions. I know they're a bit messy because it kept getting blocked and stuff, like a few reactions got blocked here and there, but they should all be up now. I think every reaction from season 2 is up. So, and episode 8 got blocked, but then HBO released the block after like an hour, which is very weird. You might have noticed I re-uploaded Ep 8 and then took it down within an hour because they took away the block. So don't know what that was about, but yeah, there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Until season 3, episode 1. Take care. Peace.